Hey guys, Long Haul Larry here, Big Blue. Then we got a little supervisor, Johnny the Chicken over here. We are going to actually install today a air dump valve for this Kenworth T680. I was told that I looked into this, and basically they're saying that I just need this valve right here. The Kenworth dealership said that this was $160, and I got the part number and I gave it to my boss, and he messed around, looked online, and he was able to find this thing for $70. It does not have any airlines that are attached onto this. There's no airlines to attach here or nothing else. They looked it up online by the serial number of the truck, and it turns out this was an older, this was a Warner truck at one time. And Warner has already installed in it an air dump air ride valve back on the suspension. It already has the air dump valve on there. I guess you have to have that, and it came with it. I looked at it, and there is a hose in the side of the air leveling valve back there that says dump on it, and it comes back up to here. So through some investigating, I basically figured out that you don't have to run an airline up to this. We're thinking that there's probably some kind of box or something up in the dash up here that does all that, and it's controlled by, you know, the computer and everything. So basically all you need to do is have a wire harness that plugs into this and plugs into the truck, and that will tell that air dump valve to operate. So that's what we're hoping, at least. That's what we've been told. My boss actually talked to a Kenworth dealership out there, and they said that this truck should have a wire harness behind this dash that will plug right in here. So I have two spots. I have this one and this one. I'm thinking it should be over here. The main reason why is because there's this piece of wire right here that keeps you from bumping the valves. There is a diff lock valve right here that you don't want you just to bump, you know, when you're driving on the road. So they have that piece of wire on there to keep you from doing that. And then I got my fifth wheel release button right here that has a safety mechanism over it. And I also have my fifth wheel slide that also has a safety thing. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be this one. So with old Johnny supervising, we shall tear this apart. All right, I got my ELD here. Get rid of that. Throw that in the garbage. I gotta take all this stuff off to get to the dash. Oops. Get rid of my GPS. This is my Rand McNally 7 Pro GPS. I like this one a lot. John over at JBG Travels, he has the 8. The only difference is his bigger. And his mount has been broken, just like what a lot of reviews say on YouTube and everything else of that GPS. They all say the mounts break. And I have the same exact mount. This is the same exact mount that he has. It just has a smaller screen on it, so it doesn't weigh as much, and that's the reason why I got it. So then I thought maybe there's not as much weight. It just has, it has hookups on it, if you want to see that. One is out, one's an anti like that, and you can see the opposite there. And it just goes on, and it's held by magnets. You just put it close and just boop, plugs right in. And then what I did is these are gauges for the differential and the transmission temperature, which I don't really need to see because I don't do heavy haul, so I don't really care about them. And it fit right just perfectly right here, so that's where I stuck it, and it looked pretty good there. But we're actually going to end up moving it. I put this double-sided tape on there. It's called double lock tape. They use it a lot for doing the pre-pass things that you put up on the windows and everything. When you buy one of these toll passes, they actually give you pieces of this. This stuff is awesome. It just locks together. I found it on Amazon, and I put it on here, and then because I tried putting Velcro on there first, but the thing would always fall down. It would just sit there and you slowly see, and as you're driving on the road coming down. I put this double lock top tape on there, and basically you just kind of line it up, and then it snaps into place, and it stays right there. It hasn't moved one single bit. So, good stuff. But that's my GPS. It's almost like a little tablet or something. Alright, the dash, you just pop your fingers behind it, and you just start working it off. And I try to be careful with it because I don't want to break the little plastic tabs. There we go. Put that back there in the bed. Alright, I am really hoping, this is my, I know you guys are going to ask these questions, that's why I'm saying it. This is the device that I transfer data from my cameras to my iPad to do my editing. It has a slot in there for a little micro SD card, and then it has the end on it that hooks up to my iPhone. And with that lightning plug or whatever they call that, you put it in and I can transfer the files, the videos from my cameras to there. Alright, let's see if we can get lucky here. I'm hoping. Oop. Well, I almost stripped that out. Kinda did. Boy, that one's in there tight. Who put that one in there? I'll just use a little vice grips here. Now that puppy's on there, man. There we go. Somebody impacted that puppy in there. Alright. I guess to see if I could find a wire harness back in here. It should be with all these, I would think. I think we're going to take these off so that I can see back in there. I think I'm also going to take this panel off too. It might be behind there. Let's open this all up. And I don't see anything there. Unplug this and get rid of this right now. Get that out of the way. It should be right up underneath here. Now, thinking we're gonna have to take all of this off. That's the way it's looking. This looks to be all one piece. Well, actually, no. I think that's everything. I think before I get too far here, I need to label these. We'll make that dome light. This one is the clearance. Flasher. And this one here is going to be headlamps. Man, these puppies. There we go. I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of money in switches right there. Who knows? That might be where it goes to. You never know. We'll figure it out when we get this all apart, I guess. Alright, so these are the wire harnesses that go up there. I have no idea what that is for. I'm looking for a plug just looks just like this. They said it would be in here. That goes all into that wiring. Let's put a 12-volt power supply. think I'm gonna do some more research here. Well, guys, I have attempted it, but I cannot get it. I cannot find the it's going to be a plug just like this, and it should be. I've actually called Kenworth and talked to them and everything, and they said it should be just doubled up with a wire harness someplace right in the center console, and it should be just doubled up and zip tied there and just be out of the way. And I have searched this wire harness, every single inch of it. I cannot find it. I sent the video to the boss man, showed him, and asked him, you know, maybe go down to the Kenworth. He knows some people at the Kenworth place out there. Maybe they can look at the video and go, oh, it's right back around this corner or whatever. I just don't want to tear everything apart and get too nuts in it. You guys know how I don't like electrical stuff. But since we're sitting here and we got this dash all apart, I thought, you know what? Let's install the right way load scale for this truck. This is all it is. It's just this little box right here. And it's just got a little backing plate deal. And then it just comes here. This is all that it is. It's just a little dial, just a little gauge, and it has a button right here. And I've read the instructions on it. And this button, it clicks in, and then what it does is you hook power to the back of this, and it turns on a backlight. And you can push this button, and it changes the colors of the gauge. That's all it does. And then this little dial right here is just for tuning, you know, for the calibrating the scale. And basically same thing, you just mount this someplace in your dash, hook an air line on here, run it back to an airbag, and then you'll recalibrate it and you'll be good to go. So since I got this all apart, I figure I might as well do it. This is the instrument cluster that I'm going to put it into. This hole right here was actually for something from Warner, and they had it drilled in there. When I had the backup camera in here, this is where I had the wires run through. And so basically I'm just going to try to make this even, so I'll use that hole up and stick it right in there. The one problem that I have is I brought my hole saw kit from home. I use these are Milwaukee hole dozers, they call them. And the instructions call for a 2 1/16 hole to mount this. I have a 2 and a 2 1/8. So I'm going to go with the 2-inch and try to drill this hole. It's going to be a little difficult because it's got this little pilot drill in the middle that centers it. So when you drill through, the little pilot keeps it centered. So when it cuts through whatever you're cutting. But this has this hole already, and it's actually right there on the edge. So I'm going to have to just really finesse it to try to get it a decent cut in there. And then what I'll do is I'll take my Dremel tool and just kind of enlarge it a little bit. And I may even try to do a little 45 on there too, to match up like what these are. These kind of have like a 45 bevel on them. These are actually pretty cool. They have a twist thing on the back of them. You just unscrew them, and then the gauge will actually pop out. But it won't fit that gauge, so we'll have to do this differently. So basically, as you guys can see here, I'm trying to get this centered. What I'm going to do here is, you can see these crosshairs. That used to be a center, then somebody drilled a hole in there for wires. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try just to use the drill bit. Try to get it so it's centered right about there. And I'm going to very slowly try to etch into the other side.
Alright, well, came out pretty good. That's really hard to do, to hold that. I think it's going to work. So now I just need to trim it up. And it's pretty square too, pretty centered too. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So now we just need to do some trimming on it with the Dremel. I got a mess going on in my truck now. Plastic shavings everywhere. Kind of need a different bit in there. Just thick plastic. There we go. Just like so. It's a little different than the other ones on there, but you know, that'll work. Do not calibrate empty. Okay, well done. Alrighty. I actually might be getting called in there pretty soon. Alright, looks like I need to do some more trimming here. There's little plastic tabs. These little tabs that continue on inside there. That's keeping this little deal from seating all the way down. So we'll trim those up. I do have metal bits. I did, when I was drilling the hole, there was, I couldn't have the drill to center it. So I kind of had to do it by hand, holding it. You can see it's kind of boogered it up a little bit over here. Not too bad, though. I was, did pretty good. And the face thing here will cover that up so you won't even see it. So let's get that straight. Sit in there. See, you can't even see that. So that's all right. There we go. Now it sits down in there. A little washer and a little nut on there. I'm gonna go get my little socket set. All right. Might be easier to see if it's straight. Yeah, it looks straight. Alright, so now we got to find here's the hose. I'm gonna see if I can find a fitting to go on there too. This one? Yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, I think so. Oh, there's my door. Hello.
Door 10?
Door 10. All right. Hopefully everything works so that all the stuff plugged in.